This is the Washington Times front page for Wednesday, August 13th, 2025. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. National Guard troops arrived in Washington as the White House shared the first batch of federal arrests and warned the city's homeless that they could face jail time. Matt Delaney reports White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt said nearly 850 federal agents began patrolling the city Monday and took 23 people into custody on homicide, gun, drug, and other charges. She said the U.S. Park Police cleared 70 homeless camps, with others threatened with arrests or fines. Federal authorities have been spotted in popular nightlife spots, such as the U Street corridor in Northwest, as well as in neighborhoods east of the Anacostia River, an area that has long struggled with violent crime. Police statistics show that crime has fallen precipitously in D.C. in the 2 years since a generational spike in killings and carjackings. The redistricting fight in Texas has State Attorney General Ken Paxton filing a multitude of lawsuits seeking to curb Democrats and raise his national profile. Seth MacLachlan reports Paxton asked a judge to arrest former Representative Beto O'Rourke for violating a temporary order barring him and his Powered by People group from fundraising or spending money on behalf of the Texas Democrats who fled the state to thwart the redistricting plans. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has announced he would call a second special session to force the legislature to address redistricting and other priorities. The Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget has released numbers showing that monthly tariff revenue in July jumped to $25 billion, up from $7 billion a year ago. Tom Howell and Seth MacLachlan report analysts said the additional revenue won't be enough to offset the recently signed tax and spending law, which extended tax cuts, increased spending on the border and military, and established new eligibility requirements on Medicaid recipients. The law is expected to add to the national debt, which has now hit a record $37 trillion, according to new figures released by the Treasury Department. The Department of Justice has announced a settlement promising that the U.S. Military Academy and the Air Force Academy will stop using race-based admissions preferences. Alex Warrior reports the settlement fills a hole the Supreme Court left in its 2023 ruling striking down affirmative action policies in most college admissions. The court said the military academies may be able to justify race-based admissions because of their special needs for officer training and military readiness. Attorneys for both sides filed a notice of the settlement and a dismissal of the cases this week. The government settled a similar lawsuit against the Naval Academy earlier this year. Michigan Representative John Molinar says General Motors is collaborating with a Chinese company that makes batteries for its military. Bill Gertz reports he called out GM's partnership with battery maker CATL, which is on the Pentagon's list of Chinese military companies. GM said in a statement that other U.S. automakers have depended on foreign suppliers for lithium iron phosphate battery sourcing and licensing. CATL is the world's largest manufacturer of EV batteries. Its customers also include Ford and Tesla. And finally, many North Koreans living and working in South Korea pay brokers to move cash and packages, both legally and illegally. Andrew Salmon reports remittances most often consist of cash for food and daily necessities, but the money also goes to medicines, small business, and investment expenses, and in some cases is intended to pay the cost of defection. Data on the amounts of remittances that move through these networks is scarce. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.